Oh man, my back is not feeling good today. Clean all the sawdust off me while I do this. Gotta dry my hands. It looks silly. Never realized how silly this looked before. I do this in the shop all the time to dry my hands off. Did not realize I look ridiculous. I've been gone for 6 weeks. I may have lost everybody. Oh, that would be backwards. Don't want to do that. Got a glove up. Got a lot of stuff to tongue oil today. And a few things to stain. Oh yeah, I gotta. Well, I'll do the tongue oil first. Then I'll score these up. And then I'll stain those last. Well, I don't know if anybody's coming. Yeah, this is what I get for taking 6 weeks off, right? I didn't realize I was going to be gone so long. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Saturday Staining. As I said in the description, we are going to oil and buff some wood. Should be fun. Welcome, everybody. Am I from Canada? No, I am not from Canada. I am in the U.S. Do I look Canadian? I wish I was in Canada, honestly. Things are not great down here. Would love to come up there. Oh, man. We're going to tongue oil some Yawara. I got a vampire steak we got to tongue oil. And then I've got some Hickory Daggers we got to distress and stain up. Hello, Layla. How you doing? You saw me in Canada? That would be difficult. I don't think I've ever been to Canada. The closest I've ever been is like Maine. I've seen Canada from there, but I've never been in Canada. Maybe I have a doppelganger in Canada. But no, I'm down here in Florida in the States. As I said, sometimes I wish it was in Canada. Things down here, not great right now. Anyway, if you guys have been here before, this is Saturday Standing at Warrior Wood and Props. Sorry, I've been gone for like 6 weeks. I didn't realize I was going to be gone that long. I spent a month in Texas every summer to hang out with my kids. And then I got back and immediately had Tampa Comic-Con. I give panels there every year, so I had to go to Tampa Comic-Con and do my panels. And so last weekend I couldn't do it. I got to make sure the holes get filled in these Yawara. All right, there we go. So yeah, Saturday Staining, not the most exciting thing, honestly, in a live. It's just me staining my projects. I go live twice each weekend, once on Saturday for staining. Then I go live on Sundays when I do all my finishing work. And you go put this in the finishing room or the drying room. Be right back. But while I'm doing this, if you got any questions about what I'm doing or the shop or anything, and really, feel free to drop those in the chat. Help me be less bored while I oil and buff the wood. Gotta tongue oil these Yawara so that they're nice and sturdy. These are used by people in karate as a self-defense weapon. They get corded up in the center, you put your fingers through, and you can whack people in the head with them, or the throat. Honestly, anywhere. I don't think it's strictly the head. But yeah, it feels weird being back. I've been gone for like 6 weeks. This is my first day back in the shop. So kept things, tried to keep things simple. Just did some Yawara, a boken, vampire steak, and some hickory daggers. But would really love to know who you saw in Canada that looks like me. That'd be interesting. Possible I've got relatives up there somewhere. I don't know. It's funny, I don't see any of my regular people yet. I don't know, they may not know I'm back yet. Usually I have a lot of the same people on these. Hey there, Loves Ducks, how you doing? You love Canada? I hear it's nice. Honestly, it seems like a really nice place. As I said, you know, if I got offered a chance to move to Canada, I probably would not say no to it. Things down here are getting a little weird. Of course, I live in Florida, so I guess that kind of goes without saying. It's always weird in Florida. Canada! Just scream Canada. Canada. See, like, when people scream America, right? It always seems like they're about to do the stupidest shit you've ever seen when someone screams America. When someone screams Canada, I don't know. It doesn't really have the same, like, connotation to it, which is good. Because most of the time when I hear someone scream America, they're getting ready to do some of the dumbest shit you've ever seen in your life. I feel like someone screams Canada right before they like smack a hockey puck, I guess. I don't know. Is that a hurtful stereotype? Might be. All right. And then, I don't know. I got this vampire steak. I haven't decided if I want to tongue oil it yet. I don't know. I probably should. At least to stabilize it. It's not really the style that takes stain very well. Spooky season's coming up, so been spending most of the summer trying to make sure I beef up my vampire steak inventory, because you guys be surprised, between like September 1st and the end of October, I sell an insane amount of vampire steaks. I have everything from natural wood vampire steaks to fancy hickory and oak dagger vampire steaks to very simple like poplar ones. I've got Buffy the Vampire Slayer replica steaks. I got all kinds of crazy shit. But yeah, I think my shop might be the #1 outfitter for people who are vampire hunters on Halloween. There we go. Let me go put this in the drying room. See, I promised you guys I'd be buffing and oiling wood. I did not disappoint, did I? That's right. Recognize. All right. And now I gotta do this. I sold I try to keep at least 2 of these Boken in stock at all times. I sold one last week, or this last week, so made another one. For those of you who are new, the one thing about the wooden swords, wasters, and Boken in my shop, the ones that are designed and meant for use in sparring, are all guaranteed. If it breaks when it should not break, like during sparring or something like that, I replace it and ship it to you free of charge. You don't have to send back the other one. The only rule I have is that it has to break under normal circumstances. Like if you went and smacked it repeatedly against a telephone pole, any wooden sword will eventually break if you do that. But my swords can take a beating. This will get 1 coat of tung oil today, and tomorrow it'll get a 2nd coat, and the tip will get an immersion that'll prevent it from cracking or breaking. They may not be pretty, but man, they can take a beating. All right, be right back. Woot woot! All right, that is done. As far as the tung oil stuff is concerned, let me get all this tung oil stuff out of the way here so that probably should have taken my gloves off before I wiped this thing out, but too late. All right, let me put this stuff over here for now. Next up, I made a few of these Hickory Daggers. By the way, just a quick warning. It's been brought to my attention in the last couple of months that there are people online, on eBay and a few other sites who are buying these from me, and then they are turning around and trying to sell them as antiques because they're distressed and they look all messed up when they're done. They are not antiques. They also are turning around and selling them for like 3 times what I sell them for. So if you want one of these that looks like an antique vampire hunter stake, just go to my shop, Warrior Wooden Props, on eBay and get one. Don't spend $100 on something like this. It doesn't cost. It's not that. It's not worth that. It's not an antique either. It really ticks me off that people are buying my stuff, turning around and lying to people and selling them as antiques when they are definitely not antiques. I made them myself. My shop's only been open for a few years. So anyway, so first thing I do on these is I score them up a little bit to make them look kind of used and worn. When I put the stain on, the stain kind of goes into the cuts. Makes it look kind of cool. Like they've been scratched up in battle. That's those. Now, these are probably one of the more popular items that I make in my shop. I make them out of hickory and oak. I have various lengths and types. Sometimes I tung oil them, sometimes I stain them. These are specifically the vampire hunter style ones that I do. So these will be, they'll get cord wrapped on the finishing work live tomorrow. And there we go. It kind of hurts doing that because you guys don't understand. I spend hours sanding this stuff and then I have to cut it. Oh, it hurts. But Makes it look cool, so worth it. Oh crap, I just realized I forgot a mixing stick for the stain. I'll have to go do that. Anyway, if you got any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. I'll be right back. Gotta go get my mixing stick. Woot. Got that. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Saturday Staining. If you're just joining us, I've done all the tung oil stuff now. We're just got done distressing these Hickory Daggers. We're going to stain these up, put them in the drying room, and then tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m., if you're awake at that ungodly hour, I go live for my finishing work. We can see what all this stuff looks like when it's done as I finish it. Usually have a much bigger crowd. For that, my Saturday staining, usually pretty short. Just kind of shows what I'm working on. I had planned on doing a Gladius waster because I needed to do one, but the blank that I had had a weird void crack in the center of it, and I didn't want to continue with it because, like I said, all of my wasters in Boken are guaranteed, so I don't want it breaking on the customer. So I'll have to get a new blank this week and try again next weekend. But in the meantime, if you got any questions, feel free to drop those in the chat and I will gladly answer them. I mostly just go live for this because this is honestly like the most boring part of my day is doing this. And which I know for you guys, that's probably not the best thing to hear, that I'm showing you guys the most boring part of my work day at the shop. But I'm being honest, it is. And I get bored doing this, so going live makes it a little less boring. Appreciate people showing up. Yeah, this can of stain is just about tanked. This may be the last time I get to use this one. But yeah, it's weird though. Spooky season, like, it seems like it's coming early this year for some reason, because normally I don't start selling Halloween stuff until like the 1st of September, thereabouts. And it's August, early August, and I'm already starting to sell vampire stakes and costume props and stuff. I mean, technically it is the end of convention season, so that might have something to do with it. I do know for some reason people seem to be doing Buffy the Vampire Slayer cosplays. I don't know if that's coming back somehow or what, but I have sold to quite a few people who said they're doing Buffy the Vampire Slayer cosplay. So man, this stuff is... I'm going to make a mess for sure, but that's all right. That's why I have paper down. Thing you have to be really careful with when you do this is that tip, because the very tip of these can be a little fragile sometimes. But there we go. And now we got a nice little scratched up vampire hunter dagger, or just wooden dagger, depending on what you're using it for. You go put that in the drying room. I got 2 more of these to get done. while I'm doing this, if you got questions about what I'm doing or what I do in the shop or anything, and honestly, feel free to drop those in the chat, because otherwise I'm just sitting here talking to the air and it feels a little weird. Not that I don't talk to the air regularly, but you know, I talk to myself a lot. There you go, that's 2 down. Be right back. Whew. I got one more. Then I'm done for today. I'm gonna go home and have some lunch. Maybe watch some TV. Try to be lazy, at least a little lazy on my Saturday afternoons, because I have to get up at 6 a.m. on Saturdays to get this stuff done. It's the downside to having a side hustle you love, right? Everything you see on the live stream is available on Warrior Wood and Props. The main shop, warriorwoodandprops.com, is not working right now. Shopify, they had something go on their end, and my main shop's not working, but the eBay shop still works fine. Everything is still available on the eBay shop, so feel free to look for Warrior Wood and Props over there. Honestly, if you just look up Vampire Hunter Steak, probably my stuff comes up usually in the first page there. If you look up Yawara or Palm Stick, also my products come up right away. So, all right, last one. Too much on this one. All right, let's put this in the drying room, and then I'm done, son. Oh. Whew. And that went by a lot faster than I thought it was going to. That's pretty normal for Saturday staining, though. Staining doesn't exactly take a long time. But Layla, thank you for joining me and enlightening me on all the awesome things about Canada. Really appreciate that. One of these days, I need to make it up there. I don't know. I need to talk to my publisher and see if maybe there's a convention or something up there I can go up and give a lecture on. I would honestly love any excuse to go up there to Canada. I know I've got friends, I think, in Ottawa and Toronto, and there's one other place up there that I know somebody. Never had a chance to go up and visit, so would love an excuse to go up to Canada. Thank you for the like, whoever gave me that. All right, hands are clean. Oh yeah, let me go grab my hammer. I gotta close that stain can. Woot woot. You guys are welcome to stick around while I clean up. If you got any questions, shove them in the chat. I'll be happy to answer them once I'm done cleaning up. And then I am calling it a day. Go. All right, but yeah, my Saturday staining lives are usually pretty short, not super exciting. But if you want to see how everything gets like finished up, like I said, I'm live on Sundays, 7:30 a.m. That's over here in the finishing room behind this partition here. Yeah, come hang out with me. Usually that one's a couple hours long at least. I'll be cording up the centers of all those Yawara, cord wrapping those Hickory Daggers. I've also got like 3 other natural wood stakes that I need to cord wrap the handles on. So gonna be doing a lot of cord wrapping tomorrow morning, which is lots of fun. Basically just, you're gonna be watching me make my hands cramp while I cord wrap stuff. But everything, you'll see how everything looks when it's done. That's usually my Sunday morning. People always ask me, like, why do I go live so early on Sundays? It's because I don't get to have a Sunday if I don't do that. So I get up early, I come to the shop, I finish all my projects, then I get to go home, play Helldivers 2, you know, spread Managed Democracy for Super Earth, and maybe watch a bad movie. This week, luckily for me, Monday is my birthday. So on Monday, I am taking the day off, and I'm going to spend the whole day. I'm going to watch a bad movie in the morning, and spend the entire afternoon and evening playing Helldivers 2, and that should be fun. So anyway, that's it for me this Saturday staining. As always, you guys, thank you for hanging out with me, whether you're new, whether you've been with me in the past. Sorry I was gone for so long. I know 6 weeks was a while to take a break, but I'm back. We'll be doing Saturday staining every Saturday. We'll be doing Sunday finishing work every Sunday morning, and the usual works in progress videos will resume. All right. Anyway, thanks a lot, everybody. Take care. Oh, there you go. Get that button.